yes, we're going to be talking about Fallout 76 today. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about this game, and that for some of you it's old news. But for all that Bethesda did wrong with Fallout 76, and we posted that clip of Todd Howard admitting that there was pretty much nothing they didn't screw up with Fallout 76. And
quite literally nothing from packaging to delivering to copies of the game to everything that happened with it.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. They caused a worldwide canvas shortage. I mean, just everything.
And he admitted that there was basically nothing that they didn't screw up. And this is very, very true. They really did screw up everything with that. And we're not going to repeat that, but this is mostly interesting, and why I want everybody who if you're kind of like inclined to skip this, please stay, because we're not going to be covering the nitty gritty, the small, too much of the small stuff. We're going to be talking in a lot of generalities, and we're going to be covering a handful of questions that were asked in the AMA that went on today. But what really we want to focus on here, is what is the relationship with Microsoft doing at Bethesda and doing for their games. And the one that I think we will see the most effect from first and foremost will be 76. We're going to see what happens with 76 on a technical and on a content perspective. That's what we're going to see come out of the studio, and that's going to reflect what Microsoft is bringing to the table here. And it's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of stuff that we want to be very cognizant of, because this is going to affect all BioWare and even a lot of Microsoft games moving forward. There's a lot of tech that there's a lot of tech that Microsoft bought with the Bethesda deal. It's too many B's and words.
Too many game companies start with B.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I'm not suggesting that you go out and try 76 right now. I really, actually, we were talking about the review process, and I was asking some community members, and what we're going to do is we're going to carve out a little bit of time to hit 76 as a community, and see how much they've improved. And basically, we're going to play it for about a week, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and we're going to see how the experience has changed from the initial launch. So that's more or less the plan. So why are we talking about it today? Well, today was what they did their layout of everything that they have coming.
Yes, they've posted their big Inside the Vault 2021 roadmap. It's pretty extensive. They also did a big AMA. Two of the guys from Bethesda over there working on this game, they did a big AMA. As you can see, I'm going to scroll down here. This is a summary of a lot of the answers they gave. So there's quite a bit of information in there, and we don't have time to go through it in depth and detail. And in fact, I don't even know if that would be very interesting. But
no, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the AMA stuff was specifically targeted at current players, like currently existing players. I have not been able to see and go through absolutely every post, because there's a lot here. And it's kind of difficult to glean that stuff out. And again, we're not interested in jumping in this, and I don't recommend necessarily somebody jump in this in the next couple of weeks or even this week or whatever. Really, what we're looking at is how is this going to be shaping the future of Microsoft? How is this going to be shaping the future of Bethesda, and what's all going to happen there? And the biggest thing that we can answer is by looking at one of the, I think is really the only live service that's currently live, and they have a vested interest in growing, and that would be 76. Do I think 76 is going to make a big comeback and be like one of the top 5 played games on Steam or the Microsoft Play Store at any time? I don't know about the Steam. I kind of really doubt it. On the Microsoft Play Store, I know that their numbers are a lot higher. Now, they're not public, but I know that they are very high, and they are putting a lot of resources towards this game going forward. And that's one of the big things that we are going to chat about today, because one of the problems that people have had for a long time is the private servers. I had a huge problem with it. I wanted a private server that we could set up for a community, and just the way that they have it set up now, it is not worth it in any way, shape, or form. It is so minimal and so small, and it's just gross and disgusting, and maybe we'll never get around to it because maybe there'll be no reason to ever go back to it in the future. But it is one of those community things that I really would like to experiment with the community with, is having these games. And probably honestly, by the time I'm worried that by the time Bethesda and Microsoft finally get their act together, I worry slightly that at that point we're just going to be playing Baldur's Gate all the time, and we won't have any time for it, even if it is miraculously recovered. So yeah.
On the note of private servers, for their fall update, they're teasing us with this evolution to private worlds. So they say, stay tuned. Stay tuned for more info.
So I have a little bit of info on that. So one is going to be server size, and then there is going to be a lot of survivability things added to the options. So basically, there's a ton of stuff that's coming down that road that may look like where we want it to go. One of the reasons why Bethesda had such a garbage, showcase with this was just because of the server tech. They didn't have access to like top of the line server tech to run the Fallout game servers on, and so they constantly were, if you don't have access to something you own, then you're renting it, right? And if you're renting it based off of your short term, meaning that 1 month you're going to be renting, say, 5,000 units, and then the next month you're going to be renting 10,000 units, and then the next month you're going to be renting 2,000 units, and it's really going back and forth like that, and you don't know what's happening, month to month. You're paying a premium. You're paying a top dollar premium for those servers. With them coming to Microsoft now, that gives them the buying power. It also gives them the hardware power to host their own servers in which they own, way more than what they've done before. And because of the way that the Xbox system is set up, they have just massive server farms that they can dedicate to this, and they can shift on a whim. If suddenly 20,000 people move from playing one game to another game, their servers are designed to be able to just handle that. So this is a big thing, which means that now that they have this access to this hardware, their software is going to start to reflect this. And again, fingers crossed that this is what they do. So what I'm seeing and what I'm kind of hearing from the way that they're talking about some of this stuff, the way that Microsoft appears to be stepping up, is they are going to be offering way more options for servers. And server stability for private servers are going to get much, much stronger. We're talking potentially about having the player in cap being increased significantly. We're talking potentially having them have permanent servers online so that you and your friends can just log into the same server whenever they want to. And so that way you could actually set up a community. And it's already been hinted at quite strongly in the AMA today that they will be doing more development plans when it comes to PvP for private servers, meaning that you can right now. There's a lot of people that just don't really activate PvP whatsoever. They made 76 with the idea that everybody was going to be PvPing all the time, and it is in fact one of the most kindest and non-aggressive communities in the entire gaming world, which is really shocking and weird. And it says something about Fallout, right? Like it says something about Fallout and what a community is behind it. And again, this is something that they should have known, but they didn't know because whoever was running the show was an idiot at the time. But that's what happened. Is it's a very friendly world, and I think that the art, the style, the concept, the community people that have been involved in this for decades, I think those people have created a really healthy, strong, welcoming community. And I think that's a great thing. And I wish that I could embrace 76 a little bit more, but I can't when it's just so garbage. So that's kind of that's kind of garbage. But
you've also said many times that it's way better already than it was at launch, and it's
it is. But again, I still don't recommend it until we get, like, unless you're a big fan and you're really excited for it and you really love the gameplay. Again, I'm not recommending it until we get probably to the fall, because again, it's just they don't have all of those new improvements added in right now. These are things that are coming, and so obviously it's stuff that is going to take a little bit of time to kind of like hone in and build upon. So when that happens, I think we're going to see some good stuff. So yeah, it was actually Juicehead who asked the question about player versus player, and the response was that they have up and coming updates to the private worlds that will enable PvP, any number of PvP elements, as well as hardcore survival elements as well.
So it's sounding like you're going to, this is what you wanted from the beginning, Saib. You wanted to be able to set up a private world, private server, where you have control over the rules. You can set it to be whatever you want.
I wanted to set up two. I wanted, first of all, to cut out all of any items that you could buy with the exception of like purely cosmetics. I wanted to cut out all of the garbage stuff from the store, and have it so that and then maybe import a handful of mods, and then be able to make one server dedicated to PvP and just open like anything goes, literally anything goes, and then have another world where its PvP is essentially turned off.
Yes.
And then just have it so that players can play as they want to, and just have fun. Right, like and just like come up with like interesting ways to like work together and come up with some cool content. Because again, for the longest time, this is all I wanted in this game. This is all I ever really wanted from the game, was the ability to engage with the community and play some cool stuff, and have some fun adventures. And for the longest time, that was so impossible. You could have fun if you're playing with a group of people in the right scenario, but it was never enough, and then it was just not easy enough to like do that kind of stuff just on the initial release. Now it's improved greatly since then. They've made a lot of improvements, but they still have a very, 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 very long way to go.
Indeed.
So,
yeah. All right. I do want to say one thing before we get to some of the chat messages we have about this. As far as we can talk about everything that Bethesda did wrong with this game, at very least, they are sticking to their promise to stick with this game and continually improve it. Unlike a certain other company that starts with B, who is also owned by a large mega corporation now, so BioWare, and they just up and dumped Anthem.
Yep.
And
they just and we knew it. We knew that they were. I knew that they were going to do it day one.
Yeah, like I was going to say earlier, when we posted that clip of Todd Howard admitting they did everything wrong, we got some pushback. Most of you liked seeing that clip, but we did get some pushback from some commenters saying, why are you fixating on this? It's got a very healthy community. It's got, it's actually a pretty good game. And you know what? I don't disagree with any of that. I don't disagree with any of that at all. And if there's, for those of you, and I know there are many out there who are still playing Fallout 76 and enjoying it, and that's fantastic. I'm glad. Like anytime anyone has a game that they enjoy, whether I like it or not, doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just glad I'm glad there are people that are enjoying this game. And because of that, I am glad that Bethesda is carrying it forward and working on continually making it better. Unlike what EA did to the fans of Anthem, which I imagine there were fewer of them, but they were still there, and we heard from them when we posted our preview about, and no ill will toward, most of them were actually very, very kind, not nasty comments. We did get some, but, most of the comments we got saying, this is actually, a good game that I enjoy. Most of them were, very just reasonably stated comments of disagreement. Let's put it that way. It weren't nasty stuff. And so I feel bad for those people who were playing Anthem and enjoying it, and now it's just going to be gone.
Yeah, and I mean, I made it a point to say to them to begin with is like, look, I'm not dancing on this grave. Like I'm saying, I told you so. Not necessarily not to the fans, but to the big mega corporations and to some of the press that fluffed this thing up like crazy, and certainly to the devs. There was a particular dev that I stopped talking to because they assured me that this was going to be the greatest game I'd ever played. A week before launch, he assured me that this would be the greatest game I ever played. I'm like, did you even play it? Like, what in the world? So this is why this game is a barometer. Fallout 76 is now a barometer. It looks as if so there's some current rumors coming out about Bethesda now. There's supposedly some stuff coming out sometime soon for news and stuff like that. And I would not guarantee that we're going to get a release this year. I would say it's very much up in the air right now. There's a lot of rumors going around. It's hard to tell which rumor is correct or what has proper weight to it. And so right now we don't know what's coming out from Bethesda or any of their sister studios this year or even next year. We really don't have any idea what's going on where. And due to the whole world situation, due to a bunch of economies basically teetering right now, I think promising anything and announcing anything. I heard yesterday that Square Enix guaranteed a game release in 2023, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you guaranteeing a game release in 2023? You have no idea what's going to happen over the next 5 months, let alone the next year. Why on earth why do these stupid companies come out and say, yes, we're going to launch a game in 3 years from now? What? Like, did you not learn anything from the last 2 years? In the last 5 years in gaming? Like, literally fries my brain. So, really dumb, really stupid. I don't know why they came out and said this. But that said, my point being that it looks like we may not have any game until next year from Bethesda, just due to restructuring, due to these new companies, due to a lot of stuff that could be maybe and possibly
aside from the ones that were already preset to come out, like we've got Death coming, etc.
Yeah. But those games are basically like they were essentially almost finished like pre-purchase, right? That's why they're not changing the release schedule on Deathloop. They're still doing that thing with Sony because of that.
Yes, Microsoft is releasing some PlayStation exclusives. It's rather funny.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious on that case. So excluding the stuff that was like preamped, so unannounced. That's the word I was looking for. So unannounced games dropping from post buyout. So that would be Starfield, that would be Elder Scrolls 6, obviously, which is way down the road, unfortunately. And then a bunch of other games. That's all stuff that's coming out post. And there's a ton of that. And so, basically, I think we've got a bit of a long road here. And again, 76 is going to become the barometer for exactly how positively this relationship is going to be. And again, I don't think we're going to be able to tell that in the spring content. I think we're going to see a little of it start to come in the Steel Rain content, which is going to be the summer content. I think where it will really start to take off is the fall content. And again, if we get to the fall and it's just kind of like a meh, then, probably won't ever cover the game again. But if it's like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. This is really cool. We see some really cool stuff here. And then not to mention that we're going to see an explosion of players through the Xbox Pass hitting this game as well. So all of this stuff included, I think we're gonna, if it goes good until fall, and we're going, all right, I've been seeing some interesting stuff here. This is really interesting. This is fascinating. Then at that point, it definitely warrants a second look from at least our community. Basically, review what is there, how it's looking, and then decide whether or not you kind of give a review based on that. So it's going to be kind of a community review. I'm really excited about it. I've been talking to a few people. I'm really excited for this because this is going to be so cool. Because
we can find enough people who already own the game, which I imagine there are a bunch.
But yes, because I don't, again, until they can prove that they're really committed to this, and I think they're getting really close, I don't advise people buy this game.